Hello everybody, today back in another video. Alright guys, it is time for quarterfinal preview. We had 128 players in the draw when this US Open 2023 started 10 days ago. Now we have only 8 left man standing, and 6 of them are not any surprise names. I actually predicted all of those 6 to be in this quarterfinal, and those 6 I'm talking about is Djokovic, Alcaraz, Medvedev, Rublev, Zverev, and Taylor Fritz. The only 2 that I didn't got in this quarterfinal stage was actually Big Foe, Frances Tiafoe, and Ben Shelton, the 2 Americans. But one American I got right that will be in the quarterfinal, which is Taylor Fritz. Speaking about the Americans, it is the first time ever, not ever, excuse me, I mean not ever of course, I mean it is the first time in 18 years since 3 Americans has been in the US Open quarterfinal stages, since 2005, which is 18 years ago, last time that happened. So big congratulations to the United States, which United States is a pretty big tennis nation, and they have not had any big success, to say the least, the last couple of years. This is a success, definitely. But of course they want to get a champion. Last time they got a Grand Slam champion was from United States was 2003, I should say, yeah, 2003, 20 years ago, when Andy Roddick won the US Open back in 2003. Since then, no American dude on the male side has won a Grand Slam title. And we all know why. We had the 3 greatest tennis players of all time that were stopping them all the time, and you know, all of those, you all know who those 3 are: Djokovic, Nadal, and Roger Federer. All right, enough about that. Before I go to the quarterfinal preview, let's talk a little about the most high anticipated, the most hyped 4th round match that we had all these years US Open. And they delivered, my tennis fans all around the world. They really delivered. It was the most anticipated match, and they didn't disappoint. After 4 hours and 41 minutes, Alexander Sasha Zverev comes through in 5 epic battle in 5 sets against Jannik Sinner. Big congratulations to Alexander Sasha Zverev, who is doing his biggest Grand Slam run since he got his injury in last year's French Open in the semi-final against Rafael Nadal. So since then he has not done a big run at majors, and now he has done it. He is in the quarterfinal, which I actually predicted him to go. We all knew that Sinner and Zverev will clash against each other in the 4th round. We knew that. And I got the feeling that majority, at least 55–60% of the tennis people around the world were predicting Sinner to win that match. I was not one of them. I just had the feeling that Zverev will come through. I was not sure, of course. I knew it will be a very, very tight match. I knew it will be a toss-up match, but I gave my slightest edge to Zverev, and he didn't disappoint me. He won. It was a hard fight, for sure. Zverev was the better player, according to me. He was the cleaner player. He just he was up in the lead all the time. He was one set up, then he was 2 sets to 1 up. Then Sinner came back and leveled the match to two sets all. And then in the 5th, I mean, Zverev was the cleaner player. He did 14 winners in the 5th set, 10 unforced errors. So 4 more winners than unforced 4 more wins than unforced errors from Zverev's racket in the 5th set. Sinner, he does 7 winners in the 5th set, 11 unforced errors. He does 4 more unforced errors than winners. And then in tennis, you know, guys, it is all, you know, the case in tennis. It is not any secret. The player who takes his opportunities, that is the player who will win the match. And if you look at the 5th set, if you look only at the 5th set, because we all know it was a 2 sets to beat, 2 sets all when they got into the 5th set, and in that 5th set. Both of them had 1 breakpoint opportunity each. Zverev had 1 breakpoint opportunity in the 5th set, and Sinner had also 1 breakpoint opportunity in the 5th set. It was Zverev who converted and not Sinner, and in the end, Zverev won the 5th set 6-3. So Zverev was a better player, was a cleaner player, was a more solid player, but it didn't look like that in the 4th set. Because Zverev was completely exhausted in the 4th set. He looked done. He looked done physically. He was dead tired. After Sinner won the 4th set 6-4, it was Sinner who was in the momentum. Physically, at least, he looked much fresher than Zverev in the 4th set. But that in the 5th set, Zverev, he regrouped in the 5th set. He somehow it seems like his tank was completely empty with gas in the 4th, but he refueled his tank in the 5th. He looked in the 5th. He looked a little more fresher than Sinner, according to me. In the 5th, Sinner, even though Sinner had some cramps in the 4th set, but in the 5th, Sinner was not moving as good, as fresh as Zverev did. And according to me, Zverev looked the fresher player in the 5th set. That was not the case in the 4th, but in the 5th set, it was a completely different scenario. In the end, Zverev won. If you look at the stats, Zverev did a solid match. Not crazy superior, but solid. He does 16 aces, 6 double faults. Every time Zverev does under 10 double faults in matches is great for him, because we all know he's a double fault machine. So he did 6 double faults only and 16 aces. Did I say 6? 16 aces and 6 double faults. He lands 70% first serve in. He wins 70% behind his first serve, which is okay number. It is not crazy good, but it's okay. He wins 49% behind his second serve. Zverev. He does 56 winners and 46 unforced errors. So he does 10 more winners than unforced errors, Sasha Zverev. Jannik Sinner, he does 12 aces, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and 7 double faults, something like that. So he lands 54% first serve in. That is too little. According to me, you need to be landing more first serve in tennis to have a chance to win these kind of big matches. Under 60%, it is too little. He landed 54%. He wins 69% behind his first serve, quite even with Zverev. It was not much that separated them there. He wins 50% behind his second serve, Sinner, quite even there as well. Even Steven, more or less. Not much that separated them there as well. He won little more points behind his second serve. Not much more, with 1% more. Zverev won 49% behind his second serve. Sinner won 50%. The huge difference was in the winners and unforced error ratio. There, Sinner had a negative ratio. He does 67 unforced errors and 50 winners. So Sinner does 17 more unforced errors than winners. Compare that with Zverev, who did 10 more winners than unforced errors. So Zverev came through deservedly winner, according to me, and I'm not surprised at all. He has Zverev matches up good with Sinner. He had a 3-1 head-to-head lead before this match, and now he has a 4-1 head-to-head lead after this match, Alexander Sasha Zverev. But I think Zverev's journey will end there. We all were talking, me including, that Alcaraz has a tougher draw than Djokovic. Yeah, on paper, but after the 4 matches are completed, who is Djokovic facing and who is Alcaraz facing? He's facing a dead tired Alexander Sasha Zverev. I don't believe in Zverev will recover in 2 days' time after playing 4 hours and 41 minutes against Sinner. But speaking about time, poor Sinner, he played a 4 hours and 50 minutes quarterfinal match against Alcaraz in last year's match. That was a quarterfinal match, which he had a match point, and lost a tight, big battle last year. And 12 months forward, he does the same against Zverev, 1 round earlier in the 4th round, almost the same amount of time which he played with Alcaraz in last year's US Open quarterfinal. This one was 4 hours and 41 minutes, so 9 minutes less. So poor Sinner, he's losing some big battles, to say the least, in his tennis career, at least so far. Anyway, Zverev, I don't think he will recover. I don't think he will fuel that tank in enough time to be able to beat a consistency machine, a powerful, explosive tennis player like Carlos Alcaraz. Even though that Zverev has a 3-2 head-to-head lead against Alcaraz, but those wins he got over Alcaraz, it was before Alcaraz became this beast. Say example, that match he won against Alcaraz at French Open last year in the quarterfinal. That was before Alcaraz even won his first Grand Slam titles. So it is a different animal he's facing now, and especially considering how he's coming into this quarterfinal match, because I'm starting to preview the quarterfinals now. Let's start with Alcaraz and Zverev. I favor Alcaraz there. I have predicted Zverev to go to the quarterfinal. He's my 5th favorite on my top 8 favorite list. He's my highest quarterfinal candidate, Alexander Sasha Zverev, so I obviously give him a chance against Alcaraz, especially if he can recover in good time, especially if he can serve big, especially if he doesn't give Alcaraz a lot of second serves to return, because I don't trust in Sasha's second serve at all whatsoever, and especially if Zverev plays close to the baseline. If he plays far beyond from baseline, which he tends to do a lot of times in his matches, he will be eaten alive like breakfast, with all kind of attacking tennis from Alcaraz, with drop shots, slices, chip and charge, taking the ball early. He will just take all the time away from Zverev if Zverev stands far beyond from the baseline. In the same kind of game plan like Alcaraz does against Medvedev, because Medvedev also plays pretty far beyond from baseline. So Zverev, he needs to come up with a big game plan, serve big. He needs to have a lot of first serves in. 70% against Sinner was good. He needs to have even more against Alcaraz. 70% will. I don't know if 70% will be enough, man. I don't know. I believe that he needs to have even more in landing first serves in than 70%. And the most important thing is when he lands that first serve, even if it is under 70%, even if it is 63, 64, 65, he needs to do damage on the 3rd shot. He needs to do damage on the 5th shot. He needs to do damage on the 7th shot. Those diamond shots in tennis, which are the 3rd, 5th, and 7th shot. He needs to do damage on his serve plus game, Alexander Sasha Zverev. He cannot stay on from the baseline and trade rallies with Alcaraz, because if he do that, according to me, Alcaraz is the better baseline player than Zverev. He's the better mover than Zverev. He has more variety in his game than Zverev. He's much faster player than Zverev. Zverev needs to be doing a superior match with big serving, big hitting, close to the baseline. And last but not least, He needs to take his opportunities, which he has done pretty good so far in this tournament. But now Zverev will face his biggest test in Carlos Alcaraz. And considering that how long he has played tennis so far, he played pretty long match against Grigor Dimitrov as well in the third round. Let's not forget. But his longest match was here in the fourth round against Sinner, which I'm not surprised. I thought with myself, Sinner and Zverev they will have a war. And the player who wins that war, which was Zverev in this case, he will be completely exhausted in the quarterfinal. And this was exactly the scenario that Alcaraz dreamed of. He will get a player who won the war, and then he will finish him off in the quarterfinal. If you look at Djokovic, who will face Fritz, I will talk about that match later. Fritz, he's not coming in that quarterfinal dead tired. He has won all of his matches in straight sets. Fresh as crazy. So Fritz is coming with all kind of a positive attitude, fresh legs, you name it, in that quarterfinal match against Djokovic. So now, who has the better draw, Fritz or Djokovic or Alcaraz? We are not so convinced anymore if Alcaraz has the hardest draw when we saw this happening. Anyway, my prediction from the Alcaraz-Zverev match, I said 10 days ago that Alcaraz will win that match, and I will not change my mind. I just think Alcaraz is a better player than Zverev. Is the cleaner player than Zverev. Is the more explosive player than Zverev. Is the more reliable player than Zverev. He has better returns than Zverev. The only thing I can say that Zverev has better than Alcaraz, it is the first serve. Not the second serve. And probably he has maybe also better backhand than Alcaraz, but because Zverev has a pretty good backhand. But forehand, no. Returns, no. Speed, no. Baseline game, no. So I will say Alcaraz will win in 4 sets. I give Zverev 1 set. All right, the next match, the head-to-head is 3-2 to Zverev, by the way. If I didn't mention that, but like I said, those matches that Zverev has won against Alcaraz, it was before Alcaraz became a beast. Now we go to the second quarterfinal match, and that second is between Medvedev and Rublev. All-time the Russian clash between each other. We have seen this script before. 5-2 in the Medvedev leads the head-to-head against Rublev. Rublev has got Medvedev a couple of times, but never in majors. Medvedev, who has been looking really good, even though he lost the first set against de Minaur 6-2. After that, he never looked back. Won the second 6-4, and then the third and the fourth much easier than that. Medvedev, we all know that hard court is his best surface. A former US Open champion, he will face Andrei Rublev, who will be playing his 9th quarterfinal match at the Grand Slam events. He has never been past this stage. Poor Rublev, who I think he has the record. I don't know if ever somebody has played 8 quarterfinal matches at the Grand Slam events and never gone past. And Rublev can make this record look even worse if he loses for the 9th time, which I believe he will do. I pick Medvedev to win that match. Maybe Rublev can surprise me, but I picked Medvedev to beat Rublev 10 days ago when I did my preview. I will not change my mind now. I just think that Medvedev, he is the better player from the baseline. And you know what I've said, guys. The players who win the baseline battle, it is 99% the players who win the tennis matches. And that was exactly what happened with Medvedev and de Minaur. De Minaur won the baseline match in the first set, but after that, de Minaur lost the baseline match the last 3 sets. So I believe that Medvedev will do the same against Rublev. He will win the baseline battle. He serves better than Rublev. He returns little better than, not little, much better than Rublev. the only threat to Medvedev is that he plays also far beyond from baseline. So if Rublev can come with some kind of game plan like Alcaraz does, with a lot of drop shots, attacking the net, taking it to Medvedev with big hitting tennis, and just hit through Medvedev, and then Rublev absolutely can win. But I don't think Rublev will win. I predict that Medvedev wins in. I don't think he will do it in straights, man. I think Rublev will give Medvedev a run for his money. I will say 5 sets. I say 5 sets. I think I will give Rublev a chance. I will give Rublev a chance. Why not? Why not? Medvedev is not impossible to beat. He's not, especially when he plays that far behind from baseline. And Rublev has firepower. I will say Medvedev wins in 5. That was the quarterfinal matches from the top section of the draw. Let's go down to the bottom section of the draw. Let's start with the All-American clash. And these are the only 2 players that I didn't see coming into the quarterfinal stages, actually. Where has Ben Shelton been since that Australian Open run earlier this year, when he played the quarterfinal in Australian Open earlier this year? Where has he been? He has barely won 3 straight matches. He has barely won 3 consecutive matches. He has been a disaster. All of a sudden, he's in the quarterfinal at US Open. I didn't see that coming from Ben Shelton. Tiafoe is in the quarterfinal. I'm not surprised. I should actually have picked him to go to the quarterfinal. That is a little weak from my side. So I'm not surprised that Tiafoe is there, but I'm really surprised that Ben Shelton is there, especially considering which kind of a disaster form he came into this US Open. Tiafoe was not coming in super great form either, but not as disaster form as Ben Shelton. Anyway, they are facing each other for the first time. They have never faced each other before. Of course, when 2 players face each other for the first time, you don't know what you will get. You don't know how they match up against each other. But I will pick Ben Shelton to. I don't know. I just feel that Ben Shelton has firepower. He has a bigger serve than Tiafoe. Tiafoe, he has not been landing over 60% of his first serves in his 4 first matches. All of his 4 matches that Tiafoe has won, he has been landing under 60% first serves in. 100%. I don't know what is the problem with these Americans. They are not landing high percentage of first serves in, besides Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton is landing over 60% first serves in. He is doing that, but not Tiafoe. He's been landing in all of his 4 matches under 60% first serves in. He has come away in his 4 matches because he has not had a tremendous hard draw, let's be honest. But now against Ben Shelton, I think that Ben Shelton will be the better server. Ben Shelton will do more damage behind his first serve. He will win more points behind his first serve with his big first serve. And that's why I'm picking Ben Shelton to win that quarterfinal match. That is my opinion, but maybe I will be wrong. This is not an easy one to predict because they've never faced each other. You don't know how they will match up against each other. But I think that the serve battle here will be won by Ben Shelton, and in the end, I think that will be the big reason why Ben Shelton wins this match. I will say that Ben Shelton wins this one in 4 sets. All right, then we have the last quarterfinal match, which is between Taylor Fritz and Novak Djokovic. The head-to-head is 7-love to Novak Djokovic. Taylor Fritz has never defeated Novak Djokovic. This is another American, exactly like Frances Tiafoe, who has not been landing in his 4 matches over 60% first serves in. He has been landing under 60% in all his 4 matches first serves, Taylor Fritz. And in his first match, he was actually landing even under 50%. 46% or something like that. He landed in his first match, Taylor Fritz first serves in. Taylor Fritz needs to be landing much more higher first serves in to have a chance against the greatest serve returner of all time. Djokovic will eat Taylor Fritz's serve alive with serves under 60%. So Taylor Fritz, he needs to be able to find more first serves in against Novak Djokovic to have a chance here. Will he do that? It sure doesn't seem like that. He has not done that in his first 4 matches. I don't think he will do. I don't think he will land over 65% first serves in, Taylor Fritz, which he needs to do to have a chance. So I pick Djokovic to win this battle in 4 sets. I will give Taylor 1 set here because he has, after all, looked really good, even though he has had an easy draw, but he has looked really good. He has won all his 4 matches in straight sets, so I can go against Djokovic here. Djokovic is the solid, he has the better returns than Fritz. He's the better baseline player than Fritz, even though he's not as good on the baseline as he used to be, Djokovic. But I still give him the slightest edge from the baseline against Fritz, especially those cross-court backhand to backhand. I don't think Fritz can hang in with Djokovic there. It's not many players who can do that. Only few can do it, like Zverev, like Medvedev, and also Alcaraz. He can also hang in with Djokovic on the cross-court backhand exchanges. I don't think that Fritz can do it. I don't think so. Fritz's biggest weapons are his serve and his forehand, even though his backhand is pretty good also. It is not, like I've said, these tennis players nowadays, they have all the shots, forehand, backhand, serve, also serve. Many players out there can serve really good, really big. What they don't have, many of players doesn't have, besides some big players like Djokovic, Medvedev, Zverev, Alcaraz, not many can play good tennis from the baseline. Not many have great shot tolerance from the baseline. So the shot tolerance, I believe Djokovic has better than Fritz. So Djokovic cannot be beaten from many players at US Open. The only player I believe can beat Djokovic is Alcaraz. That is my feeling. I don't think somebody else beats Djokovic. I don't think so. I think only Alcaraz. Maybe Medvedev as well. Medvedev has defeated Djokovic before, and he had done it once in a Grand Slam event, and a big Grand Slam final, the US Open 2021. So Medvedev has proven before he can defeat Djokovic in a big final. Alcaraz did that just recently at Wimbledon, a couple of months ago. So Djokovic doesn't lose in Grand Slam events against everybody. He just doesn't do it. He does it against specific tennis players. And Fritz, like I said, has never defeated him in 7 attempts. And will he do it now? It is now or never for Fritz. He's playing on his home soil, on his home country. He will have all the home crowd on his side, but we have seen that script before. That doesn't bother Djokovic extremely much. Djokovic even not likes maybe, but he doesn't care that the crowd is not so much on his side. He goes in that consistency mode, in that don't miss mode, he just gets in that lockdown mode and just completely locks in mentally and just plays his game and just wins like he is doing very much in his career. He wins a lot, much more than he loses. So, but and of course he comes in as a favorite. He's a big favorite against Fritz, let's be honest. So I will pick Djokovic to win that match. I did that 10 days ago and I will not change my mind now. I think Fritz can take 1 set from Djokovic. I think Djokovic wins in 4. So I think Djokovic wins in 4 sets. I don't think Fritz takes 2. I think Fritz takes 1 mostly. So there you have my quarterfinal predictions. I think that Alcaraz defeats Zverev in 4 sets. I think Medvedev defeats Rublev in 4 sets. Not 5 sets. I mean 5 sets. I said 5. I think Rublev will give Medvedev a run for his money, a really hell of a run for his money. I think so. I think Rublev can take 2 sets from Medvedev. I think Ben Shelton defeats Frances Tiafoe in 4 sets. And I think that Djokovic defeats Taylor Fritz in 4 sets. And I think we will have a semi-final match between Alcaraz and Medvedev. And I think we will have a semi-final match between Djokovic and Ben Shelton. So there you have it, my tennis friends all around the world. The quarterfinal prediction, the quarterfinal preview. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.